We determined that we couldn't differentiate ourselves with size or more branches, more ATMs, those type of things. Much larger institutions could beat us. But what we could do, we felt, to differentiate ourselves very successfully is in the way we deliver those products and services. So we created the first bank store in the industry. We've been, I think, very innovative in the way we've used technology to advance this organization. So I think that that's been probably the biggest one. The old Japanese proverb says, fall down 3 times, get up 4. So I think that's really what I've been focused on is, trying to make progress every single day on the things that are important to us in our organization. Sometimes progress is taking a step back before you take 4 or 5 steps forward, and that's okay. So I think really, we all learn from our failures, some more painful than others. But I think we all learn something from each one of those. I think the best advice I could give anybody on starting something that's entrepreneurial is this: don't get talked out of a good idea. Because whatever idea you come up with, there are going to be a number of people, sometimes your best friends, they're going to tell you why, in a nice way, why they think that perhaps that might not work. And if you listen long enough, you'll start to believe it.
Our time to market was so critical. The day that we actually launched the business, there were 2 other competitors that launched on the exact same day, exact same businesses. They had more funding, they had better pedigrees, the whole 9 yards. But the difference between us and them really was the fact that we had shipped with a working API, downloadable SDK, fantastic documentation, like the ugliest website you've ever seen, and horrible branding and all those kinds of things. But the other guys launched with enter your email address and we'll notify you when we're live. And so it was that 60 days from when it took them to ship that we were able to actually lock up the market. So that time to market was just so critical. Today it's team, it's transparency, and it's how much stinking fun we have. I think the most rewarding thing has been building something that a lot of folks didn't think we could do. And we talked to a lot of folks about the business and I had questions myself about where the business was going to go, but from day one we had customers that were interesting brands and media partners, and they wanted to pay us money, and they were excited about where we were headed. And our team is just focusing 1,000% on that. I think that really sort of got us through the tricky parts of the business. We've been hiring down in the Bay Area now. We have a satellite office down there, and one of the engineers, when I was in the final interview, I asked him, I said, "What's got you excited about Entrepreneurship?" And he said, "I've interviewed all over the valley, and this is the only place where when I asked the engineers, what's the business model, not only did they know the business model, they knew cash flow, cash on hand, burn, projected time to running in the black, all these things." And that got him really excited because people wanted to be a part of a business that was a real business. And so that's always been really exciting to me, and that's something that we try to sort of get the rest of the team excited about. And then when, which is inevitable, folks go on to start their own businesses, they're gonna have those skills and be able to apply those to their own business.
There's literally hundreds of millions of pounds of plastic that are landfilled every day in the United States, and at the same time we consume about 19 million barrels of oil. And so as soon as we started doing the market studies and looking at this from a holistic perspective, it became obvious that this was a very huge market opportunity, and one that was pretty exciting, and at the same time helped solve a lot of big problems in terms of our waste plastic problem, our energy crisis, and putting those 2 together in a business model like Agilex was very exciting. When we first formed the company, and it was just Kevin and I, we talked about our mission and our vision and our values, and that's an area where we had total alignment from the beginning, and so we documented those values, led by always act with integrity. And I think that that's something that has rippled through our company, and it's something we try to live by, and it's not by happenstance, it's not chance that it's that way. We talked about it openly, and it's a part of our training for new hires, is to ensure that everybody understands that mission and vision and values of the company. Keep your eyes open. If you're on the lookout for opportunities, then opportunities will start to pop up. And that takes extra effort when you're already working and you're busy in a large company to keep your eyes open. Join organizations like OEN, network, talk to people, and that makes a big difference. When I started getting active in OEN, coincidentally or not, a few years later I came across Kevin DeWitt, and a year later we started Agilix. So